Welcome to my movie review for A Quiet Place Part 2. I've been really excited to see this movie, but what about you? Are you like me and were you really pumped after seeing the first one? Or was that movie so scary that this time around you're like, nah mate, forget it, I'm done? Thank you for checking out my review. Actually, maybe I should whisper, because you don't know what's around. Thank you for checking out my review. If you don't know why I'm whispering, you probably haven't seen the first movie, and I do recommend that you see the first movie because the first film is fantastic. When it came out, it was one of my favorite movies of that year that it came out. I'm going to do this review. I'm going to try to keep it as spoiler-free as possible because I don't like to give away spoilers, but please go back and watch A Quiet Place Part 1 because it's fantastic. So what is this movie about? Well, I'm glad you asked because I'm going to give you a little plot outline. Following the deadly events at home, aka in the first film, the Abbott family must now face the terrors of the outside world as they continue their fight for survival in silence. Forced to venture into the unknown, they quickly realise that the creatures that hunt by sound are not the only threats that lurk beyond the sand path. It's directed by John Krasinski and it stars Emily Blunt, John Krasinski, Cillian Murphy, Millicent Simonds and Noah Jupe. So this film kicks off right at the point where the first film finished. So to truly understand this world, you should go back and watch A Quiet Place Part 1. But this is a world where aliens have invaded and they respond to sound. And if they hear a sound, if they hear someone making a noise, they will attack you, they will kill you. So every human has learned to move around the streets, the planet, in complete silence. The start of this film acts as a prequel to the events of the first film because in the first film we just open up and we know that the world is a quiet place. It has to be a quiet place, but at the start of this sequel it acts as a prequel and it tells us how we got there. So it goes back to day one and we see how these aliens first invaded the planet, and it's a brilliant opening. I mean, we see some of it in the trailer, you get an idea of what is happening, but the opening of this film is absolutely fantastic. The way that it builds the tension. Yes, you are silent, you are on the edge of your seat. You are so glad that you've come to the cinema to see this film. One of the most clever castings of both films was the casting of Millicent Simonds, who plays the daughter of the family. She is a deaf person and she can see everything that's happening, but there's plenty of times when the director Krasinski puts us in her shoes and we see what's going on, but we can't hear anything. So the sound is cut off and we just have to watch what is happening. It's actually quite a scary thing because although you can see the carnage that is happening around you, the fact that you can't hear it is quite disorientating. So you actually want to hear something because you want to be able to sense how close the danger is, how far away is the monster. And one of the great things about this film is that it doesn't require lots of explanation and lots of exposition. It actually requires storytelling on a level where sound isn't heard, because this is a world where you don't want to make a sound, because if you make a sound, you will be dead. Going into this film, I really thought that Emily Blunt was going to be the one to watch, that she was really gonna lead proceedings, that she's Mama Bear, she's doing her thing, and she's good with her rifle, so this was gonna focus on her. But actually, I think the real star of this film is Millicent Simonds as the daughter, and also Cillian Murphy, who I thought would just have a supporting role, is really key to everything that happens, and Millicent Simonds is absolutely fantastic. There are so many great moments in this movie. There was something that reminded me a little bit of Jurassic Park. If you watch the movie, you'll know what I mean. There are typical things, you know, when a young person does something and you think, don't do that because that's stupid. There's a moment early on which made me laugh, which is someone's mobile phone goes off and then something bad happens as a result of that. And it made me think, well, we're in a cinema. If your mobile phone goes off, I wouldn't mind it happening to certain people. But yeah, just a great movie, and a movie that you definitely should be watching on the big screen. In terms of my criticisms of the film, I only really have one criticism, and my criticism is this: it ended and I wanted it to go on for longer. That is my criticism of the film. It's 100 minutes long and really sharp, straight to the point, does all it needs to do, but I was left wanting more. And I'm a person who normally talks about running times. I think 100 minutes is a good running time for a film. I think you should be able to tell a decent story within that time frame. I recently reviewed Army of the Dead. That movie was 2.5 hours long, and I thought it was too long. It was a bit baggy. That movie could have been 100 minutes as well. But this is a movie where I I really would have appreciated if it had been 2 hours, because the movie ends and yeah, I feel like they could have explained things a little bit better. But maybe that's what Krasinski wanted. He wanted the audience wanting more, wanting a Quiet Place Part 3. And if there ever turns out to be one, I'll be right there. I think sequels are really hard to do. We often get sequels because a film is either really popular with audiences or it's made a lot of money. If it's made a lot of money, it doesn't even need to review well. A studio will generally say, let's make another one. So sequels are hard to do. And thankfully, this sequel builds on the world of the first one. The first one was such a good film, and it would have been horrible if this had been a letdown, but it actually just builds on that first film, and it's so worth it. So I highly recommend this film. It's a horror, thriller, drama, tense, whatever you want to call it, but I don't think you'll leave the movie feeling like you can't sleep at night. Maybe you want to stay quiet, maybe that's a good idea. But yeah, definitely one that is worth a watch. So my official Marcus Loves Movies rating for A Quiet Place Part 2 is, mini drum roll, I'm going to be generous with this one, 4.5 stars. I'm not going to give it 5 stars because maybe John Krasinski will watch this review and he'll say, hey Marcus, I'll show you, I'll make another movie and you will give it 5 stars. So we shall see. But that's just my opinion. Would love to know what you thought about A Quiet Place Part 2. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Were you left on tenterhooks? Were you like, nah, I could do without it, not fussed? Please, let's talk about it. Was there anything in the movie that you didn't quite understand? Let's talk about it. Please leave a comment. Whilst you're here, can I ask you to give the video a like? And if you like movie chat, trailers, discussions, reviews, can I encourage you to subscribe to this YouTube channel, because that would really help me and I'm sure it would help you too. Thanks for watching. I'll catch up with you the next time I leave a brand new movie review. So thank you for watching. Until next time, take care of yourselves and I'll see you soon.